Hello and welcome back to Plotline Hotline, where we review shit so you don't have to.
I'm Christian,
I'm Cole.
and today, with a heavy heart, we are going to review Acolyte. Sorry, correction. The Acolyte. Season 1.
And hopefully it's
just recently wrapped up. Just recently. And yeah, we're gonna fight our way through this one.
Yeah. So, spoilers ahead for those that may not have seen it.
Yeah. Yes, definitely spoilers. Give us that sweet synopsis.
The Acolyte takes place a good chunk of years before the prequels. Some Jedi have been murdered by some mysterious killer, and they suspect this young woman, an ex-Jedi named Osha. They discover that it is actually her twin sister who has come to kill the Jedi who caused a major comeuppance / shit with her sister and family.
Hold on. I already know the synopsis. Tell them.
I am telling them.
They're right there.
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at your stand.
Okay, but...
I'm thinking.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue, sister.
Continue, sister. But,
Keep thinking.
fuck, I lost my spot.
You're right. I'm sorry.
So, Sister May is trying to kill a bunch of these Jedi that came to her planet and caused their family death, even though Osha believes it was May who started a fire and caused the whole thing to burn down.
Wow.
But really, apparently, it was the Jedi's fault and caused them all to die. And then there's the Sith Lord that had trained May in the dark side, but then when May is starting to come up short, he wants Osha to train with him instead. That's basically it.
Wow.
I think it's not the greatest synopsis, guys, but it's basically what it is.
That's essentially the story. Yeah. I don't even know where to start with this. Yeah. I thought the beginning was fun. It caught me right away with, the assassin and, Jedi and all that fun stuff.
In what way did it catch you?
It was an assassin trying to kill a Jedi.
I hated it from the moment it started. The line, attack me with all your strength, sounds so cringy and so... It sounds just so bad. It sounds like a bad school play line.
It really is.
And also that fight scene. Sorry, I know I'm stepping on a.
I don't care, man.
But that fight scene sucked.
It did.
It looked like a bad Matrix fight scene.
Yeah. Again, you can correct me if I'm wrong on social media. But I'm pretty sure the girl that plays Master Indra was the girl that played in the Matrix.
Is she actually?
I'm pretty sure. We can confirm that, add it in, but I'm pretty sure that's the same girl. So maybe that's why.
That's not a good excuse.
No. Yeah. Just every twist that they threw our direction just was drawn out and evidently it just didn't go anywhere. I felt like none of it was really that exciting. The twists I saw coming from a mile away, because it's like, I get it. You got to try to retwist things to, not anything is original, but it's just, the approach was not fun. It wasn't very good. And I was bored watching most of it. There was a couple cool fight scenes.
Later on, yeah.
Later on.
They were better for sure.
Yeah, but even then there was a fight between Osha and May when they're fighting when she comes back to the house and is like, look at all this destruction you've done and everything.
Like in the last episode?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again,
the temple
spoilers.
Thing.
Yeah. And the way they fought, I know that they were trying to show that they were the same person, more or less, quote unquote, because they're not really I didn't understand that either. But anyway, the way they fought, you could tell that it was choreographed, and it just was not fun to watch.
No.
It was like they hit each other and then they stopped. And then they would like shuffle, stop. And then they would fight again, and that it was just, I know it was supposed to be a mirror image kind of fight, like, oh, I'm the exact same person. It wasn't good. I didn't like it. Yeah. Also, very weird to see somebody block a lightsaber blow with a helmet. I know it kind of gets explained in the sense of like, oh, they used to use it for Jedi training and it's supposed to block out everything.
No, the
and
deprivation
blah, blah.
part is the Jedi training aspect, and the material was something else that he had gotten. I'm like, oh, why didn't you get more of those?
Right.
Maybe some gloves would have been a good idea too.
Gloves
Like a helmet for sure.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Helmet. But it just seems like random that he didn't have more. If it would have explained, like maybe it was the only amount that he ever found.
Maybe.
And because obviously that it would be a hard material to find.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Otherwise, a lot of people would fucking have it.
Seriously. Other than that, yeah, even Soul admitting that he killed parents and stuff. I mean, at the end, I just felt like he was selfish the whole time. I was just like, you're just a selfish dick. Because you felt a connection. I don't know.
Yeah, that part was weird, but at the same time, actually, I'll let you finish, then I'll go through my tirade.
Yeah. I think we kind of talked about this earlier, but Tobin was also not a character that was necessary.
Torben, yeah.
Or Torbin. Sorry, I thought it was Tobin, but Torbin, whatever. Yeah. The monk that was sitting there and he's meditating and she tries to like punch through the force field that he's got. It just, I thought
force field.
Yeah,
I see what you did.
You see, but I just felt like they led up to make him really badass because of he had like this huge scar, and then we got to see it, and I was just like,
you got beat up by a Wookiee.
He kind of was a little bit
cool way or anything like that.
Don't get me wrong, it'd probably be pretty scary to get beat up by your friend.
Oh yeah,
with a lightsaber.
Yeah,
but also you're a Jedi. You're literally training to be a Jedi. You're a Padawan.
We'll get into, I think, that bit later, because I'll definitely be talking about that.
Yeah. In general, that's kind of my biggest gripes. And I didn't like watching the same thing twice. There was an episode that recapped an earlier episode, but with more details. And
it was just from the other perspective, but it didn't really tell you anything you didn't already know, really.
It didn't.
It showed you maybe 3 or 4 things.
It's like the things that happen behind the scenes. Instead of like just showing me one perspective, it's like we got to see both of it. It just...
Yeah, there was 3 or 4 things that was actually new to see.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Didn't fly with me. But yeah, let's hear it.
Music was unrememberable, I found.
I don't remember any of it.
I didn't remember anything like specific music notes that I'm like, oh, this is good music.
Even during the fights, like that. Nothing.
Acting was hit or miss. There were some actors in this that I think they were trying to make their rent.
They were trying
to find anything they could to work with the script. And for the most, like, some of them did okay.
Yep.
Like the Sith that we followed for the closest. Awesome. I thought he was actually good.
Yep.
Like when he was playing the Weasel guy, I was like, eh. But when he actually got to be the villain,
now you realize why he was acting that way.
Yeah, but then you see more like his acting coming out like in full on. I'm like, oh, this is much better. I can appreciate it now.
Yeah, so much better.
Now and then pacing was all over the map. I found you'll have an episode of just fucking walking around the planet looking for shit. And then the very next episode, all basically 41-ish minutes is a fight scene.
Yep. Oh, I have a gripe about that too. The fight scene, I was upset because you didn't get to feel the emotion that was happening between them because they would just cut away and they would go back to May and Osha and then they would just cut back and you're like, I want to see this fight between Soul and
the Sith. Yeah,
the Sith. But nope, they just kept cutting it in random places so you get to keep following the adventure. I'm like, no, I didn't like that. Anyway.
Also, a lot of the character choices don't make sense, in my opinion.
In what sense?
And the sense that a lot of them change their minds after making up a decision 5 minutes later. with basically just someone going, please let me do this.
Yeah.
Then fine. Like when Yord is supposed to take Osha to the ship.
Yeah.
And he already knows what's going on back there. It's not like he's all of a sudden hears all the violence. He's like, I have to go back. No, it's he already knew. Then stuff like that.
Osha at one point she's like, turn off the lights, it attracts them. And then they're like, we're gonna go back. And what's the first thing she does? Turns on her flashlight so she can see them up in the trees, and then continues to walk. And she's like, follow me.
And then she has it turned off when she gets back, so she can put it on the back of the guy and turn it back on.
She turned it on to get back there. They should have been mauled to death. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, like, and I said this before to you specifically, the whole season feels like a first draft.
Yeah.
Because there are concepts in there that I think could have been something.
I think there was something there, for sure.
There's a couple times I'm like, this might be a cool idea, but it's just that the execution and more thought was not put into it as needed.
No.
And also, I don't think the Jedi did a lot wrong.
I don't think
in that situation. I do think Soul was a little bit stuck on that connection he felt.
I think he was a little selfish there.
But when he killed Anasea, the mother,
the mom,
she was turning into a fucking ghost demon thing,
and the kid was going with her.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, he's thinking about the safety of the child.
Yep.
Of course, he's stabbing.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, I was gonna let Osha go because that's what she wanted. I'm like, A, you could have said that first.
Yep.
B, maybe if you were going to do this whole ghostly thing, you could have explained it before scaring the shit out of everyone, because already there's a big comfort. They're being aimed at with arrows. The one ginger lady is ready to fucking throw hands.
Oh, yeah. She was ready the whole time.
Torben did nothing wrong.
No.
He wanted to go home, which didn't make sense because he acted like he was a fucking veteran that hadn't seen home in years.
Oh, and like even the scene where she takes over his mind and tells him like, I can let you go home. I didn't see what was so scarring about that he wanted to go home. It was in his head, but still.
It makes no sense. If they had said, like, maybe he has something to return to for a reason, maybe he has a friend that's
a sister
sick,
or a friend or an uncle.
He has some, like, they didn't give a reason why he wanted to go, just that he wanted to go home. They've been there for 7 weeks, and the fact that he didn't know what they were doing there for 7 weeks drives me nuts.
Like, why even come then?
Did they not give him a briefing to look for something? Because he's been looking for 7 weeks. What if he had found...
Sorry.
Are we still shaking?
Earthquake. Okay.
What if he had stumbled across the thing they were looking for in the first place, but didn't realize it because he didn't know what they were doing? Kalnaka certainly did nothing the fuck wrong.
No.
He got possessed and then attacked people.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he was just there for the ride.
He did nothing wrong.
Master Cordova? Was that her name?
Indra?
Master Indra?
Or Indira? Is that who you're talking about?
From
the one that dies in the first?
Yes.
Yeah. Lady Indira, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Indira.
It was hard to
I wrote it
track
down
of some
somewhere.
Of the names. Yeah. But she did nothing really wrong. She freed Kalnaka of the possession, but then they all die.
I don't know how that happened.
I didn't understand how that happened either.
Was their connection that strong that they all just died?
I thought she was just forcing them out type thing, but then she, like, I guess killed them. If she intentionally went to kill them, then yeah, that's kind of bad. But
there was
the thing
no
is, she didn't
implication.
ever want the confrontation in the first place.
No.
And she was just freeing one of her fellow Jedi, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, like, Soul was trying to save both kids.
Yes.
But then he, like, basically fatigued. And then he made a choice. And granted, no matter what, it's a losing battle.
Yeah.
And also, I don't, like, it's a shame, but he didn't do anything wrong.
No. I think you would get exhausted either way.
And honestly, I think this show would have been better from a different perspective. Because they're going at it as if it's why is this person killing everyone? Who is this person? But from the get-go, you already know it's not Osha.
Yeah, you do.
If you had gone from, like, Soul's perspective, for instance, and followed it through him,
where they get that call
for the most part, and then you can
your old
and then you see it from his perspective, so you aren't actually sure if it's Osha or not. Then a couple episodes later, you find out
it would have been fun.
Then you start seeing a bit more of the backstory later.
Build the mystery.
Yeah, that would have been.
I agree.
I think that would have solved some of the issues.
Way better approach to it.
They implement so many different ideas that never come back. Like when he just reads the mind of that one person in the prison, then they never use it again to find out if Osha's telling the truth or anything like that.
Ever.
And then, like, in the final episode where they just feel where the person they're looking for is. I'm like, you could have done that when you were looking for the other people the last 3 times you were looking for other people.
Yep.
I think, like we said, the fight scenes hit or miss. I liked aspects of the, I think it was episode 5 fight scene where the whole
Yes.
episode is the fight scene.
Yeah.
There were some cool moments in there that I'm like, that was actually pretty dope.
There were
move.
some pretty cool fights in there. I was like, okay, cool.
I will give it credit here, though, is that I was pleased that they would actually let some characters die.
Yes. And I was
Like-
not expecting Yord to die.
I wasn't expecting Yord or Jackie to die.
No, I didn't think Jackie would. Yeah.
If they're like with Soul, Yord, and Jackie, I thought one of them may have died by the end of the season. All 3 of them died.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. Sorry. Yep.
Spoilers,
Again.
but that was actually kind of surprising.
Yeah.
And I was actually kind of like, oh, finally.
There's actually some risk in
Yeah,
this universe.
there's a little bit of stakes here. Great.
Yeah, not just plot
And
armor
and
because you're a main
The
character.
Sith is a fucking threat. Fucking great.
Yeah, I think him being able to kill them made him more like threatening.
Yeah.
Like immediately.
100%.
And not just like, oh, you managed to best me, and then just runs off like a fucking, video game boss, and it's like, I'll get you, Inspector Gadget. That kind of stuff. Yeah. Overall, just I don't know. It left me wanting more. It really did.
Like it left you wanting, not wanting more, because if you're wanting more, you come back for season 2.
No, I won't. I wanted more out of it, and I got nothing out of it.
There you go.
Yeah. Not wanting more as in like I need another season. Wanting more as in like there was so much potential.
There was a lot lacking.
And it could have been fun, but it was just not. And it's just too bad. But yeah.
Also, they tried to throw so much in the last episode to be like, we're come back for season 2. They have spoilers. Darth Plagueis show up creepily.
I didn't even know it was him until you mentioned it, and
Yeah.
you're like, "Here, this is what people think he
Yeah.
is." I was like, "That's what."
Yoda at the very end.
Man,
and-
I just literally when that popped up, I was like, "What the fuck?"
Like,
just
why?
because? Like, why?
Yeah. Granted, he would be alive at that point, but
True,
but I don't need him as a try and come watch more type thing. And then
that's
also
what that was.
that's all. That is what that was. The only thing
That's
that
why I
was.
got upset.
Then you didn't get the Vanestra and the Sith meeting because that's her previous pad one that he left that he mentioned before. That was the only thing that could have been like
cool.
that could have been your tidbit for a next season.
Yeah,
That was like because it was planted like 2 episodes earlier.
it was.
That's perfectly fine.
yeah.
Vanestra did fuck all the whole.
Until the very end.
Didn't even do anything at the end.
No,
she
she
blamed
just-
Saul for everything.
Yeah, actually true. Yeah.
And technically, Saul did start a lot of the problems. It's just, but he was not necessarily at fault because some of it was just like misunderstandings. It's poor writing.
Yeah. I think we could go on and on.
Yeah, we could.
And if you really do want another episode of it, we can talk more in depth. But I think I'm going to say that's probably, unless you have any like really that were bothering you.
There's very little else I think I can say. I think we covered the basics of it. And honestly, I hope we don't have to come back. We will if there's people that ask for it. I hope not. To God, I hope not. But if they, and that's even assuming if they get a second season.
I hope not. I really don't. Yeah, let's move on to ratings.
You can go first with this one.
Oh, man.
Set our bar. Set our lightsaber bar.
So
How high is this lightsaber?
out
reaching?
of lightsabers,
You don't have to do lightsabers. You can do.
No, I'm
starships.
gonna rate it out of lights. It doesn't deserve lightsabers, but I'm
It
gonna.
doesn't. It doesn't. Let's not give it lightsabers.
Okay. Out of 10, I have to give it a 4. I was bored through most of it, and it just nothing surprised me. Nothing was interesting. Nothing really jumped out at me except for the villain. I enjoyed his mask. I thought he was a cool villain. But even then, it just everything about it fell short. Yeah, and like you said, I didn't even think about the music because I don't remember any of the music. And
No, it didn't stick with me.
literally, we just finished watching it, and I still never want to have to turn it back on. It was boring.
No, I kind of feel bad for some of the actors involved.
It's
Like
not.
they could have. Like some of them were trying their best.
They
but
were.
They were not given enough material to work with.
No.
The story basically folded in on itself so many times it's almost imploding.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do when you just get handed and contracts, writing.
Yeah. Again, a first draft. If maybe it had been polished, we might have had something at least half decent.
There was potential, but I'm still sticking with my 4. I'm not changing that. I strongly believe that. What do you think?
4.
Really?
4 pips.
4 pips. Yeah. I wanted to like it. There's just, I don't see what the point of having a season 2 would be, besides watching her get trained at this point.
She'll become more villain, and then she'll probably turn good again later.
Oh, yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah.
And you'll see Plagueis probably play a part somehow.
Ooh.
Yeah. And
so,
yeah.
We can keep going.
No, we're done. I'm done.
Yep. So I think that's going to conclude our review of The Acolyte. And if you agree with us, let us know. If you disagree with us, let us know on social media. It'll be somewhere up here, Plotline. On Instagram right now, we're going to try to put things out on different platforms so we can get it everywhere. But yeah, that's going to conclude Plotline Hotline today. Once again, my name is Christian. With me is Cole. And yeah, we're back at it. We got a new place. We're having fun. And we'll be back with a new episode right away. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Bye.